Would you make a move? Make a move. Let's do a stream. Yeah, I've literally started. Move. All right. Okay, so where are we? So on my list of a lot of things, but first and foremost,
oh, you've unmuted in the Discord. You're right, mate.
oh yeah.
I was about to message you saying I could hear your stream twice. How are you?
What am I doing my life? What we do here? But the tricky thing here, right, is that I don't necessarily want that false. I actually want it true. I just need. Alright, let's clean up this debug first and foremost. Let's clean up all the debug. Fearful. Only you. Alright, now what we're gonna do is, so we have our outfalling thoughts. Now what I want to do, what we could do actually. You know what? Hmm. So, oh, let's do something rogue. Let's do. Oh, oh. Okay, so we've got this music is just not chilling up. No, that. Ooh. Can you feel what you got to feel? So what I think maybe so what we can do power force direction. That's not right. Not really primary move course direction. Is yeah. Oh my. Hey, Voltio. Today I'm just gonna work on some rotational stuff. So basically, I want to let you, when you jump, to turn your character, so you can start to preempt some of the directional stuff. So if you want to land and roll right, you can sort of turn, land, roll. It's a bit more gamey, but we're gonna bring it in, see how you guys find controlling that, and then look at ways to make that more smooth. But I want it in first to see gameplay wise if it adds a lot, because I have a feeling it will. In terms of being able to really, because like I want to get away from. Yeah, I just want to give you more control in like a beautiful way. That makes sense. Have you tried BMX Streets guns?
No, I haven't. Is
It
that any
might be
good?
better. When I tried it, it was a little bit buggy. It was a bit. I didn't really have fun. I'll be honest with you. But I'm hearing it's gotten better, so I might get it again. And then just found it.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm broke, so 33. That's a weird number. £33.50.
You know,
Right.
mate, it was 50 quid. It was 50 quid on day of release.
Shit. Ow.
Yeah, I know.
For a game that's getting mixed reviews.
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous. I'll be honest with you. Then he dropped the price, but yeah, it's there's something I noticed in that game that I think we're already trying to do, but I'm trying to nail in, and is the balance between like
Hey, what's
yeah,
up,
that is
Wilson?
kind of me. It's the balance between like what is a skill issue versus what should the game like be better at. Because I saw a lot of like you see a lot. I saw a lot of comments being like, "Ah, it's a skill issue. It's a skill issue." And I think at some point, you know, it's like it's actually not like there's
What's the skill issue?
a skill. Did you say what's a skill issue?
No, I know what a skill issue is. I mean, what are people referring to being a skill issue?
Just like the ability, I like how hard and how easy it is. Like,
Oh, what,
because
just the game in general?
I was like, what people are finding hard isn't that they can't, isn't like, oh, I tried to chain this like long line together, and I've like somewhere I kept messing up at random points in it, right? Because oh, I just got it was a really long line. You know what I mean? It was more so like I can't I can't roll into this thing, or I can't do. And a part of me is like, because I think there's like skill issue, and then I think the game is like just difficult, like unnecessarily, like because I think it's just finding the right way at which is difficult. Like if you, because I don't think it should take 30 tries to do something, unless the thing you're doing is exceptionally hard. But if it if it seems as though it's like for example, if you want to jump and grab a wall, if it doesn't look like it takes crazy precision, then it's like it should be pretty straight. Like I don't know if it looks like it should be straightforward, 9 times out of 10 it should be, right? Whereas if it looks like it should be difficult, it should be. And I think there's a I'm being like, yeah, I don't know. There's a when I was playing it, it just made me remind. I was like, you really got to pick it up, and you should feel like you are a good player, and then you are not a great player in that sense. Like you then need to really play to get to like higher levels, but you shouldn't. I don't know if I agree with picking up something and feeling like you suck. I don't know if that is because that's what I felt like, and I was just like, yeah, I suck at this, and I was like, why do I suck? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and I get like picking up and sucking in like a, oh, I don't have the gear, I don't have the weapons or something, but like, or I don't have like I'm not able to do this crazy mad thing. But yeah, I should be able to jump and do a tail whip and land it, or like transition and not bail 70 times. So I think that's the. It was good to feel that kind of reinforce that in my head, because after 5 minutes I gave up trying that thing, and then I played for like just under an hour, and then I just had to refund because it was a bit broken. But to give it a good, yeah, I mean, if you get a chance.
Yeah, I might do.
Primary rotate course direction dot. Okay, so now what we want to say is if primary force directional dot more than 0, 0.
That's good.
Let's just do this in like a really simplified way. Um, let's just see what's gonna happen. Now I want to compute this myself, but then I'm worried that whenever we do this rotation stuff, we need to remember that it won't be replicated. We need to do so. But I want to see how this behaves. Just in like a vanilla sense. Pushing more than 0. What I should do, actually, to be fair. See. Oh, let's go blue. For the past 3 years, it's gonna be. Buddy, got it. You've been talking to your true girl, what you gonna do? How's Dada was telling me you guys had a little play in that sounds like skyscraper level, and it was really nice.
Yeah, it plays really well. That's what's in that's what I've stashed that's in the testing level. That's why I didn't want
Oh, got
to
you.
like just let it die. So I've just stashed it to one side for now.
Got you.
No, it plays really, really well, to be honest. And something about it selling itself as a real environment in your head makes everything scarier. Like massive jumps and frees that don't feel right in the testing level feel scary to do. It was really interesting to play actually, but no, it works really well, to be honest. There was a couple spots that once you got into them you couldn't get out, so I had to like just add a couple of steps up and things like that. But other than that, it's pretty much fun.
Yeah, that's sorry, I wasn't ignoring you, but my mic just died.
Oh, I figured you got
that's
lost
one
in
of the
working something out.
no, that's one of the things I was saying with actually I got re launch now. with the 011 level. That was the thing that I think for a while I was like kind of, I don't know if I ever explained it well, but like when I was when we were kind of discussing it, I was the thing that was like it doesn't never felt right to me, and I think it's exactly what you just described. Like the feeling of being somewhere makes what you do like feel good. Like you don't even need to be in somewhere, man. Like it doesn't need to be like super textured or wherever it is, but just feeling like you are somewhere that is somewhere. If as bullshit as that's like nonsense as that sounds, like
No, no, no.
makes such a big
100%.
difference. Yeah,
Let
and
me
like
hang on.
actually selling, it's that is that level of immersion that level didn't have because it lacked like it lacked belonging, but it lacked an actual like like place in the world that immediately you just disconnected, and so it felt like you were jumping on a box, and it felt like you were jumping between boxes, and then that wasn't fun, and then it was so hard to make then the environment compelling because in essence we were giving, like for you especially, because we were giving you a really difficult canvas to try and make real, but as much as you want to tweak and add these crazy things, like it was never going to feel right because where it is didn't feel right, so it's good to hear that, just even in such a rough state.
If you look at so I'm sharing my screen now, this was the best example we found of it, because I played for like, I don't know, maybe like an hour just running around on the map, and it's fun as hell. But this is probably the best example of not texture or anything, but it feels scary. Is looking down and seeing the levels of wolves.
It's just like I don't know. I look at this, right, and I'm just like, wow, like it just has a like consequence, and you feel the height, and you feel the scale, and you're like, oh, you know what, yeah, man, like this feels like and then now when you do this grab, you feel the drop below you, and you look below, and you feel this world and life, and I don't know, it has weight and feel to it. I mean, this level looks really cool. I don't know, like I already just see this, and instantly I'm like, yeah, like wow, you've got so much more freedom and option, and that stick, right? It just feels consequential, like it just feels like and you just being in this section here. Do you know how like it looks really like it looks like options galore, but it just aside from that, it just feels like like full of life, and you look at it and you're just thinking, wow, I've got all this. You feel like you have freedom, even though like nothing's changed gameplay wise. But all of a sudden you're like, oh yeah, and they come here and then do a running jump through here, and like tic tac. Yeah, I mean, whoa. Oh, the tic tac it chooses is broken, by the way. So, yeah, that one's broken. I'm gonna work on it now.
You can make this as a stick. I done it last night. It's quite hard.
Yeah, no, this one is completely broken. So yeah.
So an interesting thought I was having as well was it's going to be cool to see the variation in clips, because this level at first glance feels like there's less to do because there's a lot of it's less obvious, and it'll be really interesting why won't you jump, to see the difference between people that are parkour minded and people that aren't, and how they find spots. Why won't you jump? There you go.
We'll see. Well, make a note of this, because the fact that he doesn't jump there is how we got fixed out.
Yeah, I've
noticed. I'm aware of that actually, though. To be honest, I'm aware of a lot of stuff like that that's a bit dodgy.
Is that when you're jumping off a ledge, but if it's against the wall?
Yeah. No. It's also there's a couple things. There's some dodgy stuff in regard to like the
like that won't jump there, unless I do it really far back.
I know what that is. I know what it's picking up against, and therefore it doesn't. I know exactly that case. I actually know what to. Yeah, let me make a note. I know what to fix there. Good found.
But yeah, this map feels incredible to run around on and play, and it's like there's so much shit to explore as well. But it'll be fascinating to see the difference in how people find clips and spots.
Well, I think because then this is the balance, right? You need that like you need things that are obvious, right? So clearly defined like things that you can do, and then you also then need that balance of it's not clearly defined, but you can really kind of create it for yourself. Um, yeah, like, and you know that felt like a good amount of like 2 tries to get that feels just I think just about right. Like it's not overly difficult. You can yeah. I think there needs to be it's like there you're not recognizing there. So there's a lot of gameplay
Oh,
tightening, like the fact it doesn't detect that thing and
I think I need the collision to extend down, so it's like a
oh yeah
more like a
probably
wall collision rather than just a bar.
yeah, and then really yeah, I think there's just what needs to be improved really is the training between some movements, and how quickly you can go back and trigger the next one, which I think will also come with coverage because a lot of animations just don't have the coverage right now. And yeah, like stuff like this, and like you're balancing on this, and you look down and you just see like, you know what I mean? Like, and imagine you have like a fog or something at this point, and you just see like an abyss. It just sells it to you so much more.
Yeah, it's very very cool. Also, it was quite a fun spot. See, now I could just spend like an hour going around showing you fun spots.
Yeah, it's
On
huge,
this
bro.
map.
We've got to make sure you can get between places more. So we might need a little like a map system and shit.
Uh, no, you can get to everywhere and from everywhere both ways. Some of them you've got to be a little bit more creative, but I've made sure that there's a route everywhere.
Oh, okay, cool.
Um, at least from one end to the other, and then but you have to work for
Well,
it because it's quite.
well, I think that's the balance,
Um,
right? Because then I'm also because like this map is humongous, right? This is a city. I mean, it plays quite well as well, to be fair. Like frame wise, you've actually got a pretty decent frame rate. Right?
yeah, but it's just untextured cubes. There's nothing on it.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Um, like this, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just when something's
Get that
just
clean up.
like it just feels like I don't know. It just you have scale and height and even
There,
devoid of everything else. You just still have a sense of like, oh wow, I'm actually somewhere.
that was. Oh, there's some mad warping on the arm jumps as well. It can pull you in from like quite a
Yeah, I kind of let it
way.
until we have a little bit more coverage because at the moment the arm jump animation I use isn't an arm jump, like an arm grab. Sorry, because the arm jump is a grab in reality, right? Because if it's a jump, but you are grabbing a surface, as opposed to the one I have is where you jump to like grab it. Like it's the same thing, but it's like in like the detail of it is actually quite different. So it when you're actually picking like the animation and stuff like there, I think it should fall again. And bits and bobs like this is where I'm like, okay, there's some improvement. I think there's a lot of gameplay improvement that needs to take place, but I'm really seeing a lot of stuff. Like especially like when you step onto something and then jump off, I think needs a lot of work. But I mean, you've gone to a whole new area. Like here, that looks like it could be a slide. You know, um, if we
Oh,
adjust
I
that
made that
properly.
steeper, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So see stuff like that is like you're like, oh, yo, nice, cool way to implement a slide. Like, yeah, I don't know. I already see a lot more potential here,
Oh, this yeah, yeah, for
but
sure.
I do also see a lot of gameplay things that need to be improved. Partially will come with improved like animations and stuff and all that kind of stuff and more coverage. Partially just some things need to just be snappier, I think. So, but we're definitely getting there. So like something like here, right? Now I don't necessarily think you not being able to jump and grab that is wrong, but this is when we say, okay, let's add like pipes and shit that you can grab onto, and then be able to get up to the top. You know what I
But
mean?
I think the issue is that I can't jump. Oh, hang on, I got that time. Yeah,
I know what's
I
stopping
can't.
you from jumping though. It
Oh,
is
maybe I just can't get high enough actually.
yeah. I mean, I think it'd be quite tricky to yeah. See, I've noticed this where it's not doing allowing. I think I know what's causing it. And even there, it just lacks smoothness that I'm really looking for. Honestly, this is me being quite pedantic about shit, but I don't know. I don't like it yet. Ooh, that camera shake on a stick is beautiful.
Oh, also, did you know you can do this with Tic Tacs? You can. I added stuff here. Where's this go? Oh, I stashed it. That's where it's gone. Never
What
mind.
was it?
Yeah. So, did you know with Tic Tacs you can? I mean, it makes sense as soon as you do it, but you can Tic
Yeah,
Tac.
I
You can
did.
do
Yeah.
strides, Tic Tac back off the wall, and land back into strides again.
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like
Okay.
everything is in essence very isolated in the sense that it should work independent of their own thing. And again, in this case, I would want it to do a like stride to tic tac or like find a tic tac that is a lot more appropriate. That would really, like, yeah. But for the coverage we have now, I mean, I've got one tic tac, and the exit for that is actually the wrong one. I need to. I'm annoyed I checked it in because the jump you'll do it, yeah, it's completely wrong. So it has a big rotational problem too. Because if your rotational exit is wrong, you'll still try and face you the right angle. So there's a lot of things wrong there, but no, it's good to see. There's a lot of it's got a lot of potential, but it's really not there yet. The gameplay isn't at least, but it can get there if we clean up the
Oh,
right
it's
things.
the second you stopped watching, I landed it.
Oh, you guys gonna have to wait and
That's
see.
fine. It doesn't really matter. We know it works.
We know it works. Yeah, that's the main thing. Yeah, I'm gonna
Is
start. I'm gonna
is
move
this the
on
new
to
level
clean
for the
up a lot of those
pretest?
things.
Yeah, it'll be attached to the testing level. You'll have both. We're not getting rid of the testing level, but yeah.
So let's see if this actually works. So now if I see, there's a little doop initially when it starts. See that I don't like. See that stuff, not a fan of at all. That's the things I don't like. I really think it might have to work as like a damper. Otherwise, and I think what it will need to be is your input would have to be, you're gonna have to really pull your input. So you have to pull right and left to be able to do it. But what I want you to be able to do, in essence, is this here, where you can like jump off, turn the stick sideways. Like that. Well, exactly this. This is exact behavior. That. There you go. Jump, twist, bang. Oh, forgot to stick. Jump, twist, bang. Or arm jump. Jump, twist, bang. There you go. It kind of works. Let's do more of a check. I mean, this is completely wrong. I'm just doing this to vanilla implementation to test it. Let's do two things. Let me debug the physics are a lot better. I mean, they're all improving. I can't stress enough how a lot of the animations being not for purpose really does impact the feel of stuff. But when we do the new mocap, you'll see, and you'll be like, oh shit, he wasn't just chatting shit. Yeah, I think one of the key things we got to get next is that like step onto thing and jump off. Really got to nail that. Okay, so let's see what our yeah, there'll be one this week. Why is it not? Debuggings. Kind of weird.
It's
I
probably
got this flu. Fall asleep and we come around. Ah, Slacker is here.
Heyo.
Ah, yeah. All right then. Let's start. All right, shall we? Well, I need to say something, right, before we start, right? I wanted to be these meetings like a little bit more like serious, okay? Because now that we are a proper company, right? None of that, you know, business. Right, okay, right, so here you go.
This is what I have to deal with, people.
Sure, so, correct. Oh, are we streaming?
Yes.
We are indeed.
Ah, fuck. Anyway, oh, are we streaming? Oh, yeah. So, good.
Oh, God help me. God help me.
God can't help you now. You're trapped.
God can't help you now.
Who's it? A quote from a movie now? Like, God cannot help you now, right? What was the
Yeah,
movie?
but I can't think of what film it's from.
Like, Alien? No? No. No, there was one they say, "Where is your God now?" What was the movie? It's very
You're just
important.
making it up.
Oh,
Was
Where Is
that
Your God Now is from Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. What is your God now?
Yeah.
Oh,
When Stannis Baratheon's choking up the Red Witch.
are you
Where's
spoiling
your
for
God
me?
now?
I only watched season 3.
This episode is 11 years old. I don't care. Wait, you've only watched up to season 3? You've only watched season 3?
So I watched the first couple of episodes of series 1, and I didn't understand anything about the names, the location. Everything was so confusing to me. So I thought I don't like it. And then somehow my wife was watching season 3, and I jumped from first 2 episodes to season 3. Still didn't make any sense, but I quite enjoyed season 3. Now, I don't know if it was season 3, but I watched the season when there was this young kid. There was, I don't know, a mega king, but it was just a kid. And he was poisoned by his uncle or something like that.
At his wedding.
Yeah, at the wedding?
Yes.
Somebody's wedding. Yeah, so I watched that
Red
season.
Wedding.
Oh, no, that's not the Red Wedding.
No?
Red Wedding.
Oh, no. Kid was...
that's
Oh,
when-
you're talking about Joffrey when he killed all those people.
Yeah, he's on
No,
about.
Jeffrey, when he
Jeffrey.
got the head.
No, Joffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey.
Yeah. No, the Red Wedding's when Walder Frey done all the Starks.
He done a
Oh.
madness, innit?
I would highly recommend watch like the first 5 seasons and then stop watching it because the last 2 are shit. First 5, some of the best television I've ever watched.
Really?
The last 2, absolutely horrendous. Yeah, don't watch them.
Hey, so,
Oh, man.
Make up your own ending in your head.
what was the one that I watched it then? With that little guy there? Season 3 was.
I don't remember exactly which season. It's
Okay.
3 sounds about right.
Yeah, I think it was 3. Yeah. So the last season, no bueno.
No, the last 2 seasons are horrendous.
Right.
The writers literally said because the show got ahead of the book, so they'd start making their own stuff up. And there's like a twist that had been set up for 7 seasons by the time you get to it. And the writers went with a different one purely because the one that everyone thought was going to happen was too predictable, even though it's what they'd been laying the seeds for. And they were like, yeah, but we didn't want people to get it right, so we changed it. And so they changed it to one that just didn't make sense. It's like, oh.
Yeah, they butchered this thing.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah, I
I'm
like
not-
the strange
Oh,
wedding.
Milbrick, mate, I saw your release video. Congratulations, man. When is it? Next month and 10 days now? Month and a bit. Looking forward to that. You know, obviously, if you want to give me, especially, you know, pre-early access, you know, like, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? Some people would say I'm a professional streamer. It just depends who you ask.
And technically, you're getting paid to stream.
Technically. For all my 8 viewers. 2 of them are me as well, but yeah.
Oh,
Two of them are you. One of them's me. I think one's Dano.
You know that your bonuses are tailored to how well you do in your own streams, so yeah, no. It's a tough competition between you and David because I'm basically unreachable, like with my
I need to start
I've done so well in my streams. I've been memeified.
I'm just gonna start clickbaiting. I'll be like, "Oh my god, the game's released."
Just
playing STORROR Parkour Pro, the final version.
Yeah.
I'll to be fair, with the high Milbrick's game, I'll just be like playing rooftops and alleys and STORROR Parkour Pro at the same time on one controller. Be like, what? What's going on here? And I'm just coding. It's just like me writing code.
You don't even have a controller in sight.
Don't even have a controller. It's just I'm actually working on the keyboard and mouse first.
I think we should release the stream and maybe we do one together with Milbrick and we do a party. Yeah, so let's fix everything then, shall we?
Yeah.
So
I'm just working on this rotational stuff, and then I'm going to.
No, I didn't break anything. But David did overwrite the skyscrapers, so I stashed them first, so we can just put them back later.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Good.
Facing input direction on precisions, yeah. I firmly believe that precision mode, it's got to be facing input direction. I'm just putting it out there now. And then we just make it that the run is a sprint. The run is the sprint is a jog. The jog is a walk, and then the walk is a little small steppy movement. Like you scale it back a bit, in a way, but it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but
What?
Nah, it's like when you're doing the facing, when you're precision mode, you like step back on everything.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, cool. That works like a charm. So now I see this. All right, lovely. It works fantastically. So we said if this is more than 0. Oh, to be fair, this should actually work. If I just jog here and jump, I'll clear it. If I jog here, jump and pull back, I'll miss it. Beautiful. If I jog here, jump, pull back, I'll do an absolute crazy arm jump, as you do. Oh, that was quite nice. That was kind of nice. Alright, so now rotational adjustment. Let's do this vanilla version. And then we'll see what's cracking up. Yeah, crap. So I was saying to Guns earlier, I might get BMX Streets again. I want to give it another chance. So I was looking forward to that again. I'm just very bad at it. I'm not bad at it, to be fair. I never played pipes, so considering not, I'm sure. Fuck it. I hate when I bail, and I'm like, why the fuck did I bail? It just pisses me off. It just doesn't even make sense. I'm like, it's the angle, but I didn't. They look the exact same. One makes it and one bails. I'm like, what the fuck? Also, Dado,
Yep.
I do think as well, like our streams are a bit unfair because the code editor doesn't look as beautiful
Fuck
as
titties.
compared to
Come back to me
when
when you
Guns is
get turned
working
into a
on
meme.
Crete. Like, Guns gets to work on beautiful Crete, and then we sit here writing in Ugly Rider.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
listen,
sick.
I agree.
That was cool too. Ooh, let's do that again. Hold up. Let's do this. So now, if I do this, see that little doop, I hate with a passion. Passion beyond anything. So now it does do what I needed to do. So now let me look at this dot. So here,
They released a lot of updates since launch, but they launched yesterday. How many updates did they do in one
I launched
day?
a couple of days ago.
Oh, well, okay, but still, like, how many updates?
Yeah, no, literally.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that doesn't sound good, to be honest. Like, if you released 2 days ago and they already got lots of updates, sounds like desperate.
Sounds like it released half baked.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I think people had most problem with, because I think the idea of the update is fine, but then it's an early access game.
Yeah,
Reality. Because I think genuinely, I think if you presented it as early access, I actually think, as far as early access goes, it's actually a pretty stable release, in my opinion. Like, I think it's actually a pretty good product.
No, I think like releasing just like that, I think it was suicidal. Really, I don't see any other explanation for that. I mean, I understand that early access has a lower conversion rate than a like full-fledged release, but then you take, I would be surprised if they had less than 50% refunds. I think refunds is you need to take that into consideration when you do a full launch. I heard from insiders from Steam that the average refund rate is 20%, which for me is super high. 20%.
That's huge, man. That's actually,
big.
to be fair, that is actually huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's actually wow.
So, because of that is the average number. Imagine a title that fails to do a good launch. Then, I mean, that must be like what 80% refunds, right? Or some stupid numbers. So it's very risky strategy. You sell more copies, but it doesn't matter because and also. In the, I don't know if it's the same in Steam, but in the App Store, right, you can make a loss because the refund doesn't count the transaction that the App Store takes. So let's say that you were selling an app for $1, right? Net, you will get 0.79 because of all the tax and blah blah, right? But if somebody asks a refund, you need to give them $1. So you get 0.79, and you need to give $1. So for every refund, you will actually make a loss. And as long as the refund is smaller than what you get, you're happy. But if pretty much everyone is refunding it, then you basically make a loss, and that is a shit place to be. I don't know if Steam is the same, but it could well be. So it's very risky strategy there. But yeah, I think Mibruk, you need to have a strategy for refunds. It's very, very important. I think it's one of those parameters that, you may want to hope that they don't exist, but real life is a beach. So yeah, you need to have some contingencies in there. Although, I mean, I would say if it's an early access and somebody really wants their money back, they're like a little bit of well, a very bad person because just come on, like he's cheap and he's still making it. So fuck me, like you
'Cause
really
that's what I think. I think as long as your price is reasonable and you do frame it as an early access, I think you.
yeah.
I think
Exactly.
then again I say that, but I think framing it as an early access and just I think being honest about what it is you're selling, right? Because I think ironically, looking at our current page, obviously we're not on Steam, right? So it's a bit different, but you can still request like email to say refund. Our one is actually very very low. But I think if you were like, I think what do you say? Out of like 300, it was like 4 or something like that, right? Which is like, near enough. What, like I don't know, 1%, which is like, like very very actually very good.
Yeah.
And I think that is reflective of like you're completely transparent with what it is, and it's like realistically, considering you get the full game when it's promised to be all that stuff, it's a reasonable price. Obviously, you don't have as easy as of a pipeline to a refund, but there is still one in there. You know what I mean? Like you can email and respond. Do you mean? And maybe I think partially you can account for probably like 75% of the like of what people that just would be like, oh, I would refund, but I don't know how to or whatever. That therefore they just kind of bear it through. But I think transparency with like what it is the product's at and the stage is at is super important. And also then just not charging an extortionate price. Like, because I think if people pay 15 or 10 quid for a game and it's like, yeah, it's bugs, not finished, but they know it's early access, then it's like, okay, yeah, fair enough. Like, yeah, it's almost more hassle to refund and then buy it at a more expensive price later. Whereas like if they're spending 30 quid and it's not there, like generally it makes more sense just to wait and then get your 30 quid back and then pay 40 quid a year later when the game's more fun. So
Yeah, but the guy started at $54 or something like that.
yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And I think that was the problem because I think the product's actually good for like if like generally for an early access product, it's actually very good. Like it's got a lot of like it does reflect the full game very well, but it also has all of the bugs you'd expect to see in an early access product without any of the finesse of a finished one. Do you know what I mean? Like it's like,
Yeah.
and then the updates like very good, I think so. But then the updates make more sense in a sense of an early access release. Like you drop it early access, so that you see how people play, then you keep on updating, and that's your beta phase, and then eventually you get to a point where it's like, oh, you know what? There's not as many bugs, not as many updates. Okay, now we'll go into full beta, and then we'll get a full release date because we've play tested this, and the early access is really, in essence, now has become the full game because you've tweaked it enough, and then you make any final, last minute adjustments and add any final stuff, and then boom, you've got a really solid like final release. But yeah, I do wish him the best. I think clearly he's got a bit of traction from, which is good. That's the main thing. So it looks
I think
promising.
industry, like when you do a business plan and all of this boring thing, blah blah, the like industry standard, like the global average of any industry is that you need to take at least 10% in the budget, like for refunds or consideration. So like your margin they always need to be more than 10% just to just account for that the thing. So, and I think like 10% I think like a good product I will clearly see, like, because people are strange, right? Like you never weird, especially the gaming industry. Like there are too many kids that don't really know what they're doing. It's a very erratic place. So I'll be signed for 10%. 10% I will be super happy.
You know what? It's not a terrible. Just might leave it. No, kind of does make sense. And then what we might just need to do is, hey Sergio, in our rotational damper. If I drop this to like 0.5, what would that look like? And then let's see if. Oh yeah, that's the half-life damper. Cool. So if it's more than 0, oh, don't do this to me now. Why do you do this to me? Because I actually know before I do that, I've got two things. Let's first look at. I want to see what this is. So let's do DT C giraffe color. Let's go turquoise. Rotational. Fancy. Then turf. Discrepancy. And then let's do. I think realistically, we need to calculate what this damper is based on a couple of things. If the surface itself is more than that, slow the half-life, otherwise increase it. And then we say if anything's there, we want a more consistent half-life. I don't know what value did I have played before. 0.2, wasn't it? So I've bumped to 0.5. Let's do a bit crazy here. Falling scenario. And then what we'll do here is DT 0.0 of color. What color? Green. Trajectory, half-life, damper, goal. Comma,
No, not now, but somewhen. It would be nice to add some to keep the momentum when you fall. Like let's say that you rotate your body 90 degrees, right? At the moment, the forward momentum gets instantaneously to that 90-degree angle, right? And it goes like straight.
But instead it's like a sideways, yeah. Yeah, I think, to be honest though, I think that will be fine, because I think eventually we're gonna, because I think obviously we've overridden the character movement component, right? So we've got our own one now, and I think we already have the tools to actually be able to do that. I think we just need to mess around with the. I think first thing we need to do is, which we'll need to do anyway to replicate the mode matching, is grab the deltas from the root motion and isolate that in a way before we apply it to the capsule velocities, so that we can now say, oh, almost transform your input relative to the full, like your full velocity direction versus your actual movement direction, and then preserve a bit more in whatever direction there with a bit of a fall off. Almost like take your input and then take your like not lerp between, but on like a damper, how much of your full velocity should be as like between the two should you merge between, and then go from being full velocity rather than going straight to full thing, just kind of blend back into full root motion thing kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's fine. I think it's all in that SPP character movement, in that physic walking, is that physic walking function. We just need to get in there. which I think we have to do anyway for the motion matching stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's yeah, it's not trivial operation because like sometimes you would expect that sudden change of direction really takes hold like very very quickly, because yeah, you really want to keep, and some other times you almost want to do like a little bit like a drift, right? Like one of
Yeah.
those drift cars that is like yeah, you turn left but you still going around. Be like like if you were landing on a very slippery surface that you keep sliding a little bit before you
Yeah. No,
get
definitely.
there. Mm.
Exactly that. I mean, it's weirdly one of my favorite things about the pole sliding. It has this like, I don't know, this like this extra like physics movement on it with like the braking, deceleration, and friction and shit. That it just makes it feel ever so slightly less like, oh, trace this thing. When I hit it, lock me in. It's more like it does that, but in a more like physics driven way, and sort of like sometimes when I see him slip off because the angle of approach, you're going too quickly or not, and it just feels really like, oh shit, okay, you didn't just lock into it like I say, but then it's not hard enough. Like it's like when it looks like it's like, okay, come on. Why do the rolls sometimes look weird? Yeah, to be honest, it's predominantly like a kind of like animation v full. The full animation is doing one thing, and the rolls kind of start at different times, especially when the full animation you choose drastically differ from the way in which you're falling. So this is when you need a lot more. My point exactly. He just kind of slipped off. Let's see here. Yeah. Needs a bit more of a. Interesting. He's there. It's just so quick. I don't necessarily mind it in a way. And then ironically, if I pull back, I mean, it really does what I need it to do. It just kind of works. I don't. Because then if I just push forward, it kind of auto corrects me, which is nice. That was a shitty jump, but okay. So now, can I jump and... Yeah. What I think it needs to do is potentially account that damper. So I think that damper needs to increase depending on how close you are to your, like, that discrepancy. So it kicks you off a bit more, but then to keep on going, you tighten up. I'm not sure I'm a huge fan of the initial, like, though, to be honest, like, it plays pretty nice. But I like, the reason why I'm doing this is for you guys in the streams, because I like the control it gives you in terms of sculpting your next thing. Like you can, before it's always like, say if I like jump here, for example, and I want to roll, before it like roll, and then I have to turn in the roll, and then you got the inputs being weird and all that kind of shit. But now instead, right, so you kind of have that behavior, but instead now you can sort of turn beforehand and kind of get into it. And it doesn't look as accurate, because I think, I was speaking with Dado about it earlier, the way you turn your body in air is not like, it's not like this, your whole thing is rotating. you're still moving forward, but your pose kind of changes. So it's not this like linear, like rotate and now I'm facing forward kind of thing. And the way you jump is very different. Like you would jump into a turn as opposed to jump, start to fall, then just magically turn yourself. But in order to get the gameplay right a bit, it doesn't feel terrible. I think the thing I like about this is I didn't add any code. Well, I did, but I just deleted some actually, which is...
Did you use AI to write the code for you then?
I actually did. I just said, hey, ChatGPT, can you make me a parkour game? And it did this. So it's coming for our jobs, clearly.
Oh, yeah.
It just
It's a
works,
shame that
honestly.
GPT can do levels yet, so otherwise we would.
Do you mean the thing I would actually use it for? Yeah. Guns there sweating.
Nah, you can't get rid of me. You guys love me too much. The community would be in uproar if you got rid of me.
Dang, and now we are
Honestly,
held
no.
hostage by.
Yeah, you're being held hostage by your own community. You're in Discord.
I made this like...
I asked once to ChatGPT if I should fire guns, and of course he didn't understand the concept, and it was like going on about why guns are dangerous in the workplace or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to dig that, mate. What am I doing? But whenever I play this game, I make it look so freaking beautiful. And you get guns on there. Fuck, you know.
Excuse me.
Hmm?
I think I can quite proudly hold the title of the best SPP player on our team.
Hell to the no. I'm even
I'll tell you
offended
what,
that.
when multiplayer kicks in, we'll do a stream where three
We
of us
will
do
see.
like challenges.
We
and
will
shit.
see.
And I'll destroy you.
Oh, there's actually no chance. And if I just slip certain things into the code to just, you know, make my thing, then, you know, none will be said.
Do it. I'll still beat you. I don't care.
So it's not a mid-air movement because I don't buy into the like move yourself left and right. It is just like a subtle rotation that you can kind of control a bit that you don't notice if you just because the default behavior needs to look beautiful. So that's just pushing forward, right? So if I just run and I push forward, all is good. It just works the exact same way as it did before. Nothing's changed though. See there, why can't I turn? Why can't I turn? That's interesting. That's interesting. If I roll, maybe I need to just... I know you can. Maybe the damper is just too small. No, not really, actually. It's actually pretty nice. That works, amazing. Like, it's subtle enough that you can play and not notice it. But then it's also useful enough that you can play and use it like if I now jump here, makes sense. What's that about? Hold up. Wait a minute. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, that would probably will help in that regard, actually. So yeah, I think it definitely might actually help you in that regard. Then.
Lionel Messi named 4 players.
Because then it becomes a little tricky to both pull back and then turn. You kind of have to pick your poison. If I jump like this, pull to the right, grab. Did I make the upper arm? I did. The upper arm's now more kinematic. It does help, but now the whole top of the body kind of looks a bit stupid. So grab. Maybe I need to do the clavicles. You know what? Let's try all the upper body bones. I'm just gonna add bones to it. I mean, I'm gonna leave this because ironically one as a. Might make a switch between a bit quicker. Oh, but while I'm doing that, let's now. issue here is that the initial switch between the two, because it's so drastic, you oh.
Yeah, yeah.
This is actually gonna, I think, drastically improve a lot of things, because I think the quicker we switch to that half-life,
So what's on the list today for us to fix, apart from everything?
well, so I'm just gonna finish off this. The last thing I'm working on, it kind of affects a lot of stuff, is the rotational damper thing. And then once I've got that done, I need to just take a last little look at the Tic Tac exits pickwick animation, just sort of like some bits and bobs there. And then I think let's have a look at the jumping. And then, well, because one of the things that the striding is, that I really don't like is your ability to chain, like jump onto the thing and jump off and stuff like that. So I really want to take a look at that. The other thing that I think is very key is the what's it called? That precision facing target thing.
Sorry. Anger. I had my microphone muted all this time. Sorry, David. Were you speaking?
Yeah, I was.
Oh yeah. I don't know why you got muted. No, sorry. Yes, can you say again?
So I was, so basically, yeah, for me, one of the things that I'm wanting to work on is the he moves beautifully. Is I want to finish this rotational thing, which I think I'm about almost there to. For he moves really nicely now. Wow. You have a lot more control too. I think I know what's fixed there actually. But yeah, and yeah, so I wanna just finalize this, get it, I'll check it in for you guys. Then once that's done, I need to take a quick look at the Tic Tac exits, get the right animation in, yada yada yada, all that kind of bullshit. And then it's a case of, I really want to look at the jumping, in terms of like when you like stepping onto something and exiting out, and just in general some of the chaining when you like land and roll to be able to jump back up and chain. I think a lot of it is an animation thing, frankly, as opposed to necessarily the logic of it. But we need to tighten it up. It's like there, like I pressed square once he was sort of standing up, and I think he should just go straight into the next climb rather than getting up and then me having to press square again. And I think that's what, when I watch people play, it's tripping up a lot of people. Like they're pressing it. I don't think it's registering it. Well, it is, but you're in a state where you may be out of it and able to, you may be back to normal locomotion, you may not be. And I'd rather it be like get back in earlier and still blend out smoothly, but if there is an input, be able to get into it as opposed to not. So I want to tighten that up. I don't know if it's, and then the other thing that I think is quite key to look at is the facing directional stuff on the on the precision mode, like when you're doing precision, because I think it's deciding exactly how we want to tackle that precision mode. Because I think obviously now we've got our little like turns and the little sideways steps and stuff like that. But I think it's a lot more. I think the precision mode is almost its own complete locomotion, like its own motion matching behavior, but it's in a very much a facing direction, and it just switches that behavior. And then I was saying potentially if we scale back the speed element in terms of like your sprint becomes your kind of precision mode jog, and then your jog becomes your kind of precision mode sort of walk, sort of little tiny like more micro, and then your walk becomes those little steps. So then you're not holding, like, you know what I mean? So then it's like, oh, you can move with more precision, so that means now your character's going to face where your camera's looking, and you know it'll slow down a little bit, but you're then going to have you know, a lot more control over your directions. And I think for now, until we get the really beautiful turns, just have it like force it to face. And, you know, when you first initially trigger it, get it to face your trigger, like your desired thing with an animation or whatever. And then once it's doing that, just go full motion match it. It should be full motion match really. And then that's when we'll need those more complex, like sideways jogs, backwards movements, because I can imagine you climb up to something. For example, when you say like, oh, I want to jump off this, and you're like, actually, I know I'm too slow. Then I pull backwards now. Instead of doing this little shuffle, he should just jog backwards. And then if I pull backwards a slight, he should do the little shuffle like he's doing now. And then you can then just go and jump again by releasing it. I think that would work really well. As opposed to, as opposed to you... And obviously we can make it face the thing, or we can make it like face the camera input, or we can make it just face where you're going and do that. But I have a feeling facing the camera input is probably the right way about it. But we wouldn't know until we test it out.
Yeah, I think like facing the camera input, it's you know, it's just you know, we just it's basically a flag that is like very easy to do. I think it is that for me the very fine balance there is the, you know, going in and out of strafe mode should be you know, flawless. So it's not really sure you can get you can switch between, let's call it strafe and not strafe, you know.
Yeah.
Because sometimes I do really want to get, okay, you know, just go back now, but like, you know, walk backward, and you know, and you know, ideally I would like to do that without pressing an extra button, but you know, how can we do it? I mean, so
yeah. I mean, to me, one thing I'm really noticing now that is actually is that the speed at which you return back to that normal locomotion so that you can change the next input drastically affects it. Because that stumble animation, you know, whilst there is no like real, you know, like way to know you are, I think all the animations just need to, whilst they still have that beautiful blend out, at a quicker point you can chain the next thing. Like it really needs to be, because I think I was a bit too conservative in terms of saying, oh, you have your land and then you got your blend out and that's all good. And at the land, you can go straight into the next one if you trigger it beforehand. But if not, you have to wait till you blend out or whatever it is. I think for some of them like that, it's just like you need to be able to get back into the next thing a little bit quicker because it makes it feel a little bit slow in that regard and they lag a little. But I've also just played around with the rotational damper. I'm going to check this in, but I basically set the goal and the half-life to switch between the damper half-life instantly. And I mean, obviously it's a simple change. I just use set position and goal rather than set goal. But have a play when I check this in. And I don't know why, for me, everything feels way smoother. And I have a feeling it's yeah. I don't know if you can see it on my stream, but I have a feeling it's because there's less lag between the desired responsiveness states. So it goes from being like semi-laggy to non-laggy really quickly. And so like the turns feel way more snappier. They do them more now as well. And the locomotion feels more responsive. The climb feels like it goes back to the locomotion with less. I don't know. It just feels more. I feel like a little bit more in control. It's a weird feeling thing, but it feels like I like it a lot more. Have a play and then let me know what you think. But and also the falling thing now, it goes straight into. I mean, I've got a crazy half-life on it. I need to change that, but it does help a lot. Yeah, I won't lie. I like it a lot. But have a play and maybe I'm just crazy, but.
Okay, so in terms of locking, so let's say that we aim to get this release for Friday, right? This intermediate release for Friday. What should we be locking in? I think pretty much everything that you're working on can be in the next release, right? I think it's pretty much doable, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think definitely it is definitely got to be. Yeah, everything I'm working on definitely will go in there, including the tic tac stuff. Once I take that off, to be fair, I'm about done in this rotational crap. Once I find a nice sweet spot for this sideways, which I think is this, to be honest. Maybe it's a bit slow actually. Is 0.2 just a good value? Maybe it is, I don't know. Maybe 0.25, I don't know. Maybe 0.2 is just a good value. I know these are the same. I'm just leaving this in case I'll move it back to 0.2 and stream so you don't see my bad code. But yeah, so I mean, for me on my end is this rotational stuff. Some improvements to the the chaining of inputs and being able to like the snappiness of stuff, and as well as the kind of transitional between like the stepping off things. Ooh, a bit dodgy. And then what's it called? See, that feels too quick. Yeah, that's way too quick. Subtle change made all the difference now. And yeah, the tic tacs, just cleaning them up as well as the arm grabs and that kind of thing. Then I think the next thing really is that precision. I think the final thing is that precision movement, because I think that was the thing that was lacking in the previous test build that we could improve on quite a bit in this one. That I noticed people having a lot of problem with. Not necessarily having problems with, but if it was improved would benefit gameplay quite a bit, kind of thing.
Yes, I think on that one we'll we need to probably go a little bit incremental about it, because I think
Yeah.
A lot.
Could also be worth just going at it together and seeing kind of like what behaviors, almost having two cases and seeing what behaviors feel good, what don't, kind of thing. This feels like a decent speed of rotation. See, if you turn the camera with it, it looks beautiful. Whoa. Boom. I need to put less power in. See, and this is when I think.
I think your mic went again, David.
Yeah, sorry. When we have the motion matching for the falling, so that it can pick different falls based on like your falling like speed and all that kind of crap, but also your falling like trajectory input wise. So if you turn in air, maybe it picks an animation that's gonna actually help you turn, like that is reflective of that, as opposed to just just the whatever one it has at the moment. Potentially you need to be a bit faster, but
yeah, I think that motion matching small falls, I think they need to go.
Those will be super
the
important.
next one. I mean, not in this one, but in the one after. Like, instead of when you jump like against the wall like an idiot, can we do, how hard is to do, like if we jump literally just on the wall, how hard is to do a wall splat from our current logic?
Pretty
we
easy.
got all the traces and everything available, right? So it shouldn't be
pretty easy. Very easy, actually. The question is it the wall splat like you jump? Because one of the issues that's actually crept up is now that I have added against the wall stuff to the context, a lot of the jumping isn't working, which I need to account for. So that's one of the things I've got in my fixes to do. So if you do have scenarios in which you can't jump, that will be why. So but I'm gonna fix that. That's my number. That's next on my to-do list. Once I've checked this in, so that will be fixed. But no, I mean, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I think like if you're jumping onto a wall and then you will fall less than a substantial amount. I think you should do a wall splat and then fall. I Okay, I think that is, and that should be sort of like contextual, right? You don't need to say, oh, I want to do a wall splat now, but like if you jump in onto a wall and you will fall a relatively small amount, then do a wall splat. If you jump into a wall and you're gonna fall a lot, then doing a wall slide like we have now, right? And then depends when you land. It depends of how much you were falling for.
Wait, so are you saying? I'm basically just thinking about when the context of the wall splat is. Is the wall splatter when I hit, or are we saying? Because it's sort of like when we're in terms of jump. I guess it's the point. At which point do we make the decision, right? When you jump?
Oh yeah,
or...
yeah. When you, as soon as you jump, like, as soon as you hit the wall, right? As soon as you're gonna hit the wall, we know that where are you gonna hit the wall, and we know how high you are, right? So we can either do exactly what we do now, or we can say, right, okay, just do a wall splat.
No, but so I mean more so in the sense of like, so if you see how with the tic tacs, that's an input, right? So you've gone in a scenario, whereas the wall one is sort of like I jump, and then rather than at the jump point, I hit if I jump against the wall, and then I hit the wall, then it does the wall splat. Versus when I jump, if it says I'm gonna hit the wall, but my thing there is that it may be a little too contextual to take away from what you may want to do or may not want to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, okay, yeah. Sorry, no, I got it wrong. I think so. Now to do a wall slide, you need to press both triggers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what if, right, you press both triggers, right, and then we trigger the slide, right? But if you are quite low, instead of a slide, you do a wall splat.
Oh, okay, got you. Like that.
I don't know. I'm not seeing.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me go back down because I'm way too high up. Wait, hold on. I see what you mean. Yeah, you like currently now. I pick up that you're gonna hit the wall, and then I say, "Oh, do a slide." Right? You're saying now instead of saying do a slide, do a splat and then transition back into a fall. But I would think the slide versus the fall is very much user choice, not context choice, because you could want to do either. Like you could want to. It doesn't really matter whether or not you're low or high. Like I could want to jump, slide down the wall. Or I could want to jump, splat against the wall, high or low.
Yeah, but it's just not to add, million inputs to,
Well, I would, personally for me, I would almost rather you splat and never slide. Because the splat, the straight vertical slide, I'm not sure is a real thing. Well, it kind of is, but
I mean,
it's more of a wall run.
Yeah, the vertical slide, the wall vertical slide, I think it was intended for when you are close, where you are in between two walls, right?
Well, yeah, but I detect that actually. Ironically, I already detect that, so I can know whether or not it's going to do that because it's a slide of its own, like a chimney. So realistically, this just straight vertical wall slide, I think should kind of work in the same way, but is a splat. And as your trajectory is about to hit it, we say, splat. I need to fix this jump against nonsense. I'll do that in a minute. We say splat instead of thing.
Yeah.
And then transition to splat, do the splat animation, and then the splat animation will include that drop off, and then fall as you would.
I mean, after the splat, you can fall with the wall slide, right? If you want to keep your, I mean, that's not a splat anymore though, because in theory you just bounce off the wall, right?
Because that's what I think. Because that slide down thing, I think that's very much like chimneys and stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, realistically, how much can you save yourself by scraping your hands and
You're
face.
scraping your hand, yeah.
The gravity
Whereas it's
will bring you down anyway, right?
will
So,
do it, yeah. So I think realistically that's its own thing. So if we made that, okay, so if we made that, like, you jump to a wall, both triggers, you're gonna splat. If you
Yeah.
obviously if you can't grab it, you're gonna splat. And then yeah, so splat and then fall. And then from there we can then start to look at, okay, what if you're close enough to the ground that you can do a straight up splat to drop? You know, that's a whole different story. But for now, let's say splat, like sort of how I do the tic tac entry. Like, do your thing and then drop and then fall and handle that from, and then we can look at saying, actually, you know what, tic tac entry, you can just land again, do that. Okay, yeah, that makes sense to me. That should be pretty easy to do, actually. I can have a look at that today. I'll look at it because I'm going to be looking at the jumping against stuff anyway, because it's kind of breaking a lot of shit.
that's very nice actually. It's thinking out
Something hella dodgy with the vaults and this rotational shit. My input is completely wonk. So when I vote, my input is just so wrong. He's like facing in the complete wrong direction. Maybe it's, yeah, where are you rotating to, mate? I need to have a look at this. This is sus. What? Why does it rotate left and then rotate right? That's proper dodgy. Okay, I think you actually. Is it just the volt? Is it just the Kong? Man, where are you going? What? Hmm. um. it rotates the wrong way first and then comes back on itself. Ah, do you know what it could be? Sus. What is? Look at all that. What is that rotational correction it tries to do? Yeah, okay, hella weird. Yeah, okay, what is that? Where are you trying to go? Ooh, sure it could be. Because actually, oh, ah, Huh. What is that offset where it tries to rotate back before coming back on itself?
So they say again.
There's a weird little maybe you can actually let me just share my screen. Oh, I went live in the wrong channel. Where it tries to rotate itself back on itself before rotating itself to itself. I know that sounds like it doesn't make sense, but
Yeah.
you look at my screen.
Yeah.
So if you see here, if I pull right, I'm saying now you can rotate always basically. You see how it rotates left before then rotating right?
Yeah. Is that
I'm kind
the
of-
natural rotation of the animation?
But weirdly though, it should almost
Why
have
does it snap like that?
oh, it's because I basically say rotate at all times, but basically,
Okay.
which is highly wrong. But that the fact it rotates away from where I'm saying it to rotate to is sus.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Like it always goes the inverse. Because
Well,
ironically, it looks like it goes towards the direction in which I took off in, and then I mean, let me get rid of this nonsense of you can rotate all the time. Hold on. Let's just go back. So yeah, so now when you're not jumping, whatever this is, I mean, this is like this. When you're not jumping, you can do it. But I'm curious as to what is causing that very weird rotation. So it doesn't do it anymore, but now you'll see when we pass through, it rotates away before coming back on itself.
yeah. But is that where the animation will go, or is X? Yeah, I think that is extra, right? It looks like he has got It looks like he has got a damper there. You know when you go and when you are interpolating with, I don't know, like a Bezier curve, that it's like in order to turn left, sometimes you start slightly on the right to just keep, the momentum and turn on the left, like that adjustment in, like ease in, right? That goes, sometimes the tangent can go the other way, or maybe that is one of those gimbal lock things. Just like it gets you.
Weirdly though, it doesn't do it when I just jump off.
Yeah.
Like if I jump off and fall, beautiful. That.
Yeah.
Like I'm only seeing it on vaults. Because now like it's kind of like the last thing. Because I'm getting good behavior on the locomotion. I'm getting good behavior moving around. Good. I'm getting sharp, snappy turns with the damper just transitioning back between each other. Like all good. But it happens even here. Oh. Well, I saw it on a climb. It happened where I climb up and I pull away. Okay, maybe not. See, I thought I saw it.
He was doing that thing before that I absolutely hated it, right?
I know it's definitely not the... No, it's all good. I mean, it works now really nicely, but I saw it at one point, maybe it was a climb up. Maybe it was a warp up. Hold on, let me try and warp up something. And I thought I saw it twist away before coming back on itself. Maybe No, I mean,